Alright guys, welcome in to Rain from Sugar Tarot. Let's see. I have already done a little bit of a pre-pull to see what's in the energy using just a regular card spread. The cat card spread. This is the deck we've pulled a little Celtic cross on, but to elaborate on what's going on, of course, the extra deck, because I'm not 100% sure what's the deal with this. So we're going to get a little bit of a basis on what's in the energies right now using Intuitive Kev's extra deck, and the cards want to talk. If it comes out again, I'll take that one. If it comes out again, I'll take it. But I'm not seeing where that's going to fit completely here. But that's why I've got this deck out. Let's find some more answers here. So, what I've got here, let's see. You've got your 3 of Wands straight out the gate, which is talking about success and business. I'll show you the card. It's just a little cat. That would be your clubs, okay? Success and business. And you've got your 5 of Wands. Your 5 of Wands is also in a regular card deck devil energy too. So, if I'm correct, I'm correct. Ooh. And this is part of the spread, but this just slid right off of another deck. And on the back of that is recharge, breathe, and let go. So whatever's going on, obviously Spirit wants you to hear that. We'll put that back down, and maybe we'll pull What's the Vibe deck in a minute. It obviously wants to come out sliding on me here. Okay. So we've got temptation, maybe. Are you tempted? What are you tempted by? What are we tempted by? I want to know. Let's see. What's got us tempted is what we're going to ask right now. From our business or whatever it is. Business could be anything, really. You know, household stuff, household projects. Just whatever you're supposed to be focused on is how I'm going to read that. And that would be the 3 of Wands or 3 of Clubs, however you would want to put that in your card deck. Like I said that. Nothing's really wanting to tell me. Alright. Maybe we'll just split the deck, since nothing is popping out. Okay. Alright. Let's see what comes out now. And we'll pull from the bottom. After that split, we need to pull from the bottom. Okay. Beta. Friendly, helpful, non-confrontational, and reliable. So, I mean, collective. I'm going to assume that's you. So don't worry about the temptation and devil energy. You know you're reliable. You know who you are. Don't worry about the bullshit, okay? Alright. Okay. Oh, okay. Hello. Well, shit. You're worried about getting in your head here, but that's in the future is what you're worried about. So apparently, and there are two other decks. I mean, two other cards. Not decks, sorry, my bad. What the fuck? Ah! See, it's little mishaps like that. I don't know. Anyway, transmute. You can call me Rumpelstiltskin, bitch. Anyway, it's been a week. I do curse. So we have third wheel, the other woman or man, the third party in a situation, and someone's trying to be an illusionist about it. They're trying to cover something up because obviously they're trying to pull a rabbit out the hat. Pull a rabbit out the hat. Something in a 6 foot. Like a rabbit in a hat and a 6 foot. Something. Anyway, why the fuck did that come to my brain? Okay, but I've got this twice. So, to me, your 9 of Swords is mind games or being stuck in your head. Okay, so I just pulled that with Kev's deck, and that's manipulation, trickery, and confusion, and you're worried about that, maybe. Don't worry. You're in your little box, you're cozy, you're good. But those match to me. So that's validation on that. And you're worried about being in that energy. Explain to me. We've got next, you've got your King of Diamonds. You're very generous in nature. That is a basis in question, and I see that you're kind of, maybe you're questioning that if you should be so, you know, very, you know, spiritually adept. That's your Pentacles. I don't know why I said Swords. Very spiritually and materially grounded, I'm going to say. But yet generous usually is what the King of Pentacles, or Knight of Pentacles, I would think. And that's how I have viewed it. And then we've got, because the diamonds are pentacles, by the way. Tell me more about that one. Where'd I put Kevin's neck? Okay. Interesting. Ooh. This King of Pentacles situation. And why is that a question at hand, even? Talk to me. Why would we be questioning our generosity? Oh. Of course you're going to question your generosity because you've probably given to the wrong people. It's okay. We all have. And I've obviously cut the deck and I'm holding Aries. So maybe you're dealing with an Aries. Maybe Aries in the chart. I know I've got an Aries moon. Okay. It's an adventurous, energetic, pioneering, and courageous spirit. Enthusiastic and confidential with dynamic, and they're usually quick-witted. However, they can be selfish and quick to temper, impulsive, impatient, and foolhardy, and a bit of a daredevil. So, iron, maybe that metal, and underneath, apparently, you're getting shocking news. Straight out the gate. Maybe from an Aries, maybe about an Aries, maybe you are the Aries. Shocking news. Is that what I mean, we had the double out here. We've got clubs, spades, it's your sword. We've got it to have. There's a card stuck to this, and I want to see what it is. Candle magic. So somebody's trying to hex your love life and finances and energy and lack. And I'm not saying, obviously, the words. But may you get whatever... Well, I mean, I don't even have to say that, man. Y'all. There's just some laws. Like, you can't... Even if you did candle magic somebody into their grave, the law is you go too, boo. Like, and maybe some people that you love, don't be playing. I understand there's a lot of knowledge that's going to be expounded upon in the world, and I've been waiting for that for a very long time. But we have some treacherous, there you go, waters to get through before spirituality is quite leveled out. And that's just the reality of it. So somebody wants you in an energy of lack. And, yeah. And in the recent past, Two of spades. In the recent past, you felt more freedom, maybe, than you do now. You don't feel free now. Why don't we feel free now? Technology, as we put down the card, if it comes back out, I'll take it. Why would the collective not be feeling free? I don't like that. You are as free as you choose to be. You really are. Oh gosh, I meant to, where is this other phone? Okay. Maybe I'll do that in my next reading. You're sweet, compassionate, and innocent, obviously. Which we've already had Beta come out too, so. No wonder people be jealous. You know, I mean, the Two of Spades is also, it's self-discipline, it's freedom and distraction. It's the hangman energy too, in the actual of converting the cards to tarot. Oops. Hang on. I gotta move these over here. Over here, over here, over here. Tell me more. Light team. I mean, Kevin's deck likes you. You're doing good. So I don't feel like this is a bad reading regardless of this stupid shit. I mean, really, you really have to understand. Just transmute it. Like I said, call yourself Rumpelstiltskin. I mean, I have to say, okay, this is where I tell that story. Go figure, right when I'm about to tell that story, we have... And they were wanting to block love and finances. We've got the 6 of Hearts, which is just your lover's card as well. Love, beauty, union. And they were trying to block that from you too. So since you got that, we know what they're doing. We just had a blue moon, so anybody doing all that or in the underground work is in this kind of energy, which I'm going to say is their self node. Have we all been in devil energy at some point in time? Yeah, of course we have. Or maybe you're just dealing with a fucking Sagittarius. That was a joke, Sag. Listen, that was a fucking joke. Unlax. Don't get your knickers in a wad. Oh, I so got it. Oh, yeah. We've got 2 talking points now out of this card. Oh, this is going to get good. Demonic, nefarious, diabolical, and bondage. Did you call on somebody? Ooh, okay, you know what? You must have called on somebody you didn't know. If you ever used the Lord David's vein around my papa when growing up, or my mom, you would hear, you said, God, or anything like that, or Jesus, or anything like that, like in that way. And if that offended anybody, well, then you need to take a look in yourself, because I'm not responsible for your emotions. It's a good lesson somebody needs to learn probably out there. You really aren't responsible for other people's emotions, and that just is. And we have a Cancer underneath that was directly underneath this, by the way, so maybe it's a watery sign with the moon, so you've got the Cancer right underneath that, and so you've got some diabolical energy that's being maybe hidden that you're not aware of in your energy. Maybe you need to take a closer look and pay attention to your insight, your divination practices. Buy a deck of cards for yourself. Don't be afraid to learn. You don't have to know everything straight out the gate. I'm still learning because I refuse to do this and not know every finite little detail, because it's my nature. It just is. So I study, but I'm intuitive. I've always read cards intuitively. So to do it other ways and have to learn the actual card deck, that's new for me. And that's why I love incorporating it. So that we learn that this has been around a lot longer. And that I do know. I just had always mostly veered toward my Celtic tarot cards, the moon cards that my friend sent, I've got my archetype cards here. I've got other decks. I mean, I've actually got... Okay, so somebody is in cahoots, secret collabs, and dark alliances in this dynamic here. Is that maybe why we're in our 9 of Swords? That came out twice. So, but we also have, like I said, we've got the Lovers. Okay, tell me more about the Lovers, and then we'll ask about the who's in cahoots. Where does that fit? Is it the Lovers that's in cahoots? I mean, they are trying to block you. And we did pull out a third party. Okay? In your head about something. What are you worried about? And you got the Lovers. Whoa. Impersonation. A fugly one. It's amazing cahoots about impersonating someone. Maybe this started out because you're in your business. You're starting a business. You're creating something. So somebody trying to maybe impersonate you. Maybe this is somebody that's got some kind of public something another. Maybe another reader, even, who knows. Contracts, commitments, obligations, agreements. And I agreed to somebody made a deal with the damn devil. In other words, in the words of my papa, calling somebody you know. I had to, man. Come on. If you can't laugh at some of this shit, I mean, not the tarot, but just life, then there's something wrong. I mean, you really do. You got to. I had such crazy events that if you can't laugh at some of the things that happen in your world, that laughter is just the best medicine and the best way to survive. And what was it I said? Oh, yeah, the Joyce Meyer story. Let me write that. And I'm just going to talk about it. And then we'll get back to our cards. If you want to skip through the storylines that I tell, feel free. But there's always something that has to do with the cards and the stories. So, I don't know how many years ago this was. But I was in my Joyce Meyer phase. So, that was on my TV all the time. Loved it, loved it, loved her books. Was all about it. I still, I don't take it or leave it. Like, I'm an omnius, so, I'm more, told y'all I was probably heading towards Sufi mysticism, Zoroastrianism, but I've got 2 books I'm reading right now that I won't get into, but they're very interesting books, and it's not like I'm a fast reader, but I remember what I read. I do. Nevertheless, this was, some time ago, because this is when I moved back home, and I had to move back. When I moved back home, I moved into the basement area because I had too much belongings. And when me and my fiance had split up. It wasn't necessarily a bad relationship even. It was one of those that could have worked, actually, but there was a few things in the way. And kind of like that third party thing. This was many moons ago, y'all, so I don't know. And so I moved back in there into the house, and this was before I moved on up and back upstairs again. Because when the house actually caught fire, I was in the master because Mom and Michael and everybody moved out. Just me. Just me and my kitty cats, anyhow. Me and 5 cats and a baby bird. Nevertheless, why I started picking this out, I don't know. Let's pull from it. So this episode of Joyce Meyer that I have looked for, because I know if I seen it, I would say, that's the one. This is the one. Obviously, we have, look at the bigger picture, but it's in reverse. Full moon in Sag. Did we not say a Sagittarius? That devil energy came out. Do you see what I mean? But it represents Sag, and it's in reverse. We've got our 9 of Swords. So, someone's stuck in their head. That's where they want you. Look at the bigger picture, and I'm about to tell you my bigger picture right now. All right. So, you got to look at the bigger picture. That's why I was meant to pick up this deck of cards. You see how Spirit does? It just does. So, the Joyce Meyer thing, I was watching, and she was praying a prayer. I do not remember which prayer this was. However, she gave a warning with this prayer. It was a heads upper. You better be ready if you ask to be changed. And I didn't just ask to be changed. I included a few things, which you have to understand. Prayer is no different than an incantation. No, it's no different than spell work. In Jewish mysticism, words are very, very important. In the Jewish culture, words is something that is very, very focused on, especially heavily Muslim men, anyway. And certain SECTS. That never comes out of my mouth, so I'm just going to say it like that. Sex. Whatever. It always sounds like sex when I say sex. Okay, roll with it, laugh at it. So, anyway, I went on to add to the prayer to not only do that, but to remove anything and everything that was standing in the way of my life's purpose. Now, do we know Marina's had all these crazy things happen to her since this house fire? Absolutely. Oh, 100%. I've had things that I have studied that I really, honest to God, I guess I didn't. It's like a veil was lifted, and I'm like, how can I know every bit of this shit? And people are not following the rules and secretly doing all this weird shit. And everywhere I look, I'm like, conspiracy theory 101. You know, no one was always calling me up. You were right. You were just ahead of your time. I told, if you probably heard me say that in other readings. I will die to hear somebody say that again. We all called you crazy. It turns out you were just ahead of your time. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so I prayed that prayer, incantation, those powerful words. And if you ask for things to be removed out of your way, they will. But you better be prepared. If these horrible things had not happened to me, I would not be sitting right here doing something I love. Something that I would do behind closed doors, being 100% me. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't have leveled up spiritually. I wouldn't have went back to my roots of everything I knew and everything I've read on all these shelves that matter. They made me have to ascend in some way. There's things that's come my way that I've not spoken on yet, that I have a hard time believing sometimes. And I'm well studied in the occult. I'm not even kidding. And I know I preach, hey, yeah, this, the things you see on, and I'm just going to say, the things you see on movies and the things you see on TV, it has happened, did happen, is happening, will happen on one plane or the other, dimensionally or another. Did you see that light flicker, or was that just fucking me? I don't know. I seen that. I felt like a glitch. Ooh, I got the cold chills. Oh my God. After my friend Nolan died, I swear to God, I kept looking around my shoulder as if I was waiting to glitch back. I was like, okay, glitch me back out of this reality. This is not real, and it felt very much like that. And all the other bad, it wasn't just his death. I had cancer I was dealing with. It didn't feel real. To the point that I wasn't even going to go through with another cancer surgery if it wasn't for one of Nolan's sweethearts, Miss Bren. I owe her a debt. She taught me into making sure, I was in a place, I'd never walked. My knees fell out when I walked into that funeral. I remember just going in and for a hug with his sister. His sister was with one of our friends, and the friend was hugging my daughter, and I could just see that in slow motion. And I went in for the hug with sister, and I've never felt that in my life. My knees just buckled out from underneath me, and she said, and all I could hear was, girl, you're going down on me, you're going down, you're falling down. Like my body went like spaghetti. It was surreal to me. Very, very surreal. I've never experienced anything like those moments. But, I'm not saying that that's responsible for Nolan's death. I actually had a heat stroke that very same week, and I almost passed. I stood at the man's urn and cried and screamed that it should have been me. And maybe in another reality it was. Nevertheless, we've got the house fire that happened. We've got the loss of the animals. And then we have my family. And we've got the tax fraud. We've got an ex spell work. I've got another ex that started accusing me of spell work that I was like, oh, well, hey, no, no, to the no, to the no, no, no. Do what ye will, but harm to none. And if you don't get that on a soul level, then that is a problem. You probably just need to, I don't know, you done fucked over you anything that you ever believed, because that's pretty much fundamental and across the board, you know, because whatever you harm is going, that same harm you're doing do to yourself. You obviously don't understand collective oneness, being a part of something but also separate from something. You can duality, it's necessary. Just so, this is my, I guess, a good way of saying look up that 1800s Gnostic text about Abraxas. I don't know if I can do it with a straight face. Hang on. Oh God, let me see if it's connected to the internet. Hang on. Okay, let's see if this internet likes me today. Okay, if it pulls up what I need. So yes, I guess what I'm saying is of course I wouldn't want my house to burn down, and the biggest loss was my animals, and I don't know, it took me a long time to get over that, but since then, it's not like anybody's giving me an easy leg up, and thank you for coming after me, for hunting me, for whatever you were doing. I don't really fucking know what y'all were doing, but ain't nothing to make you level up quicker than understanding what spiritual warfare is, and that you're in the middle of it, as well as fucked up NPCs all around you, I guess. Oh, I gotta go connect to the Wi-Fi on this phone. Why is it not connected? Do I have it turned off? I don't think I do. We certainly don't want to connect to that. Hang on, let me pause, and I'm gonna hold that thought. Remember, now we went from my Joyce Meyer prayer, all the destruction. I'll let you Google Abraxas, so hang on. Here, I'm back. Okay, I'm back, and I went ahead, and I didn't pull up what I wanted to. I don't think. Okay, I did. Oh, come on. Pull it up. See, Carl Jung was a prominent psychologist, okay, but he was very big into Gnosticism as well. And it was very much incorporated into his psychological teachings and beliefs. And so a lot of your psychological findings today is based on, of course, you're going to Freudian it up, and I touch my camera, so if there's something weird going on, I'm not even going to fool with it. The screen's got the square over here. Let's put it on my face at least, right? Okay. I don't know. Anyway, I don't like it. So, I mean, and Freud, and both of them contributed to the world's psychology text quite a bit, and we don't utilize it properly, I'll be honest, which goes into something else that we don't utilize. That was twisted. It's how we twist the words of the insightful that is fucked up, all the way down to your own Bible. We know that there's some parts of the Bible that's correct and some that is not. And if you don't know that, then can't. I will hurt your feelings. Anyway. No, I will. Seriously, somebody wouldn't stop talking to me about something at a wedding. And on the third try, I just looked and I just looked at him and I said, listen, if you would like to continue this conversation, it was politics, by the way, but I said, if you would like to continue this conversation, I would be more than glad to. But if we do, I promise you, you're going to get your feelings hurt. You've never seen somebody shut up quicker in your life. I mean, that couldn't be more I was being provoked, though. It was like, inappropriate place, we're rehearsal, and you're going to henpeck me over a situation. No. Where I am highly educated on, no, boy, I will school you. I will school you, and you will sit the fuck down. Maybe you need to, regarding your business here, and all this worry of the chaos, maybe you need to school somebody. I had to school somebody this past week. We had, I didn't think I was even going to mention it, but if you got to pull that bitch out your back pocket, that's fine. I had to peacock this week. So I didn't know that, yeah, I know, right? Sad. But one of the girls in between me and the youngin' here, I didn't know her name. I'm not going to say her name. It's irrelevant. But this cracked out guy comes looking for her. I didn't know her name at the time. I knew who she was. I talked to her on a regular basis. Like, but the fact that I am horrible with people's names. Like, even when I was a server, I can still tell you guys, I can look at a motherfucker, know exactly who they are, what they drink, and if they want this or that, and and if I forgot their ranch one time. But the names I suck at. I've always. It's just a thing. Yeah, it is what it is. And so what was my point in all that? Oh, speaking of names, see how we're going full circle, even if I'm slightly forgetting. Oh, weirdo at the door. My bad. Yeah, girl had to make a fool out of herself. I swear to God, because I wasn't prepared to peacock. And if you don't know, peacocking, just so you know, is a reference to how peacocks, when they mate, they're in a fight, either or, fighting or fighting. One of the F's. I don't know. They, up their feathers. That's when their feathers actually come out. You know, and that's a lot with a lot of birds. Okay, I keep knocking this over. I really got to organize this space. But I've been focused on the rest of the house or apartment, whatever. So they peacock. I hear this, and I have hyperacusive hearing and hearing loss, both. So I hear sound differently than other people, and so motor vehicles are going to always be louder to me. I will never be able to hear you over running water sometimes. Actually, that's not true. I've improved significantly. Dietary changes make a difference. It's just fact. Sugar causes inflammation in the body. It is an inflammation-based illness, and the reduction of so is astonishing on not just the illness itself, the entire body, and that I've experienced firsthand, not just done the research on, but both experience and years of research. Ergo, running from sugar, how it even got started years ago. Girls trip. So a weirdo comes knocking on the door. Remember, I can do that tangent thing, so just roll with me here. Weirdo keeps knocking on he goes knocking on my neighbor's door because I hear the car pull up, all right? So I'm like, what the fuck? Are they mowing again? They mowed yesterday. I'm just giving you my thought process, right? Okay. So I had to order a Walmart box by the door that I hadn't thrown away yet. And I was probably going to keep the box anyway. But I'm like, who is this creepy fucker? I've never seen him. And guilty, I didn't know one of my neighbor's names. So obviously I'm over here kind of trying to mind my business. Minus feeding stray cats or watering my plants. I really am. If I'm not playing with my grandson outside, I'm not playing with my plants, watering my plants, or stray cat or something, then, I'm really not the kind of person to be all up in your business. But I am the kind of person to pay attention to my surroundings. Stupid, I am not, especially in today's day and age. So I go and I open the door because I kind of want to see where this creepy fucker's going, right? And I see him come up the stairs. Actually, no, I hadn't opened the door yet. I was kind of peeping out the window. I'm like, okay, is he going downstairs to someone else's door? Whose door is he going to? So as he comes up the stairs, my door's facing everyone else's. So I lean out, toss that box out, and he goes to knock on my neighbor's door, which is this guy next door, right? I'm not naming names, but I don't know what he said to the neighbor, but this whole time he's got his phone and he's just doing this weird texting. And I'm not judging. Like, please go get help if you are struggling. I really, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, Teddy Mayo, and well, I would be, but it's because it's the work I did. But I showed up. Let's give me some credit, hey? But and that's affiliated with Rock to Recovery, doing breath work on Zoom. That was my lifesaver, and I am privileged to say before he stopped doing it, I got to go out in California and do that in person. That was really freaking cool, by the way. Weirdo at the door, though. I'm throwing this box out, and that's why he knocked on my neighbor's door first. He probably would have went to mine, just started down the line, right? No. So I tossed out the box, and I'm like, oh, he must know that some of my thought process is he's going to my neighbor's. You're knocking on the neighbor's door, I'm going to assume that's where you're going, especially. Anyway, I've been culture shocked since the house fire. Make no bones about it. Across the board, past couple years. So I'm assuming he's going into the neighbors. So I'm just like throwing that box out. Don't mind me, sorry, I'm just throwing out some trash. Weirdo. Anyway, and then I shut the door. Logically, right? He's going to the neighbor's house. Wrong. Knock, 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 knock. Soft little knock on my door. He didn't pound or nothing because he's like, oh, I didn't think she's a little bit. She can be a bitch. She's watching me. No, I'm kidding. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to give him the friendly, server smile, like, hey, come get it. Can I get you something else to drink? Would you like a slice of pie with that? Kind of shit. No. Like, this dude came to my door and started asking me my rent, this personal questions. And I said, bro, no. I said, you don't come to people, like, if you want an apartment here, you go check with the office people or something. I said, you don't come knocking on our doors. That's weird. And called it for what it was. And then that's when he started questioning for the neighbor's name. And I'm like, I don't know anybody. I turned into the old bitty bitch, okay? I turned into her. My grandma's name is Karen. We got Irish in us. I let it all out. But also, the lioness came out in me because he was getting a little bit closer to someone else's door that he shouldn't. That was related to me. And, right here, I had already shut the door in his face after he done talking to me. I'm like, let me shut my door and lock it. Then I hear boom, 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 like the sound of the police. Honey, I was opening that door quicker than you can count to two. And that was the girl's door that he was trying to find and stalk. I did find out later by talking to her. He had been stalking her work. I have discovered that hopefully I peacocked enough to keep him away. Because he was scaring her a little bit, and she had to tell people about it, but I guess she hadn't spoken up enough. And but anyway, when I hear that bang like that, before you get to someone else's door, my ass is out that door. And it sounded like before you knock on that door. Oh yeah, I'm not going to pretend not to be me. I mean, I can let it loose sometimes. Don't get me mistaken. It's not, it was that mother instinct came out in me. You ain't gonna mess with these girls up here. Like, no. Anyway, it was 44444 44 on the timer when I said no, by the way. So maybe somebody needs to look up those numbers. Maybe they are relevant in numerology. So, which I need to speak on angel numbers if I'm going to talk about that. Doreen Virtue actually created angel numbers, I believe, in the 1990s. However, numerology has existed for a very long time. Do I believe the other world or spirit, whatever you would like to call it, utilizes what we identify to get our attention, be it music, numbers, or whatever? Maybe, yeah, I think they can manipulate that. I don't see why not. Absolutely. And it is considered by science and many numbers the language of the universe. I mean, you can code a numeric code into a picture. Like, you know, you can also literally, people can code, watch out people sending you shit. You can even code a spam malware into pictures, by the way. Y'all need to be locking shit down right now, because people be playing in the spirit world. They be playing with the AI. I guess they be playing with, I was going to say something bad. Oh, God. Oh, Miranda. Lord, honey. I guess somebody's out there diddling themselves. Maybe to your pictures. Probably that weirdo. You've got some weirdo lurking in your energy. I wouldn't be telling you the story otherwise. And it's out here, I think. Didn't we not see it? I've got the lovers. I hadn't asked yet. Oh, we had that third party energy now. Had that third party, remember? We had that lovers card right here, which is also the Six of Hearts. Okay? Yeah. Okay. What did I do? Take that. I was about to say, did I take the moon card with me? And you've got to spread out. Look at it from the bigger picture. Everything is merely a lesson if you will let it. That is how alchemy and ascension works. When bad shit happens, cry, feel it. Do what you need to do to get through, as long as it's legal, people, and harm to none. You know, generally, I mean, you end up being one, you know, that puts the mental anguish and harm more on yourself, right? And that's usually the case. So, no, feel your feelings, feel your thing, feel your stuff. What was I saying, though, with the whole mental anguish? And I got off the Braxis. We're going full circle, though. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah. Look at the lovers energy. We look at the bigger picture, spread out. Bad things happen for a reason. That is the ultimate thing. Also, like my devil card came out, call on somebody you know. Abraxas, back to that. Anyway, I'm going to read a little bit about this, okay? First, we need to acknowledge the actual engraved gemstones and magical papyri. European scholars in the 1700s, such as the French monk Bernard de Montfaucon. I don't know. I can't say that, and I probably said that really horrible. So if you're in another country and you speak French, don't you dare say a word to me. I'm over here in Tennessee. I gave it a shot. Okay. Anyway. Hit me with your best shot. Okay. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? He famously studied these carved amulets, often misidentifying them, he says, as ancient deities, which led to the modern population of the name Abraxas. That's what they say. Okay. And then you got the Basilides. Okay, the 2nd century Alexandrian Gnostic teacher, in his cosmology, Abraxas was viewed as the great archon, or the supreme power that ruled over 365 heavens. We just talked about numbers, and here we are. Okay, see? It goes that far back. Numerical symbolism. The Greek letters making up Abraxas text is A, B, P, A. A. There's text slash segment. There is obviously an equation that surpasses me, but nevertheless, it numerically added up to 365 days, which directly represents both the days of the year and 365 spiritual realms. Iconography. These stones typically depicted a composite hybrid creature, a human torso, with the head of a rooster, and the ear of the rooster, or lion. Either way you want to, and now I feel like we're going into the, y'all are thinking, oh, chimera or chimera or whatever, right? But no. But I guess I could see. And the serpent-like legs. But 2 legs, very serpent-like, human torso, rooster head is what you're really looking at, okay? Before the 1945 discovery of the Coptic Nag Hammadi library, historians had to rely on later heresiologists, that's how you have to say that, like Irenaeus and Euphanius, ergo euphemism, Euphanius, we're gonna roll with it. And the collections of magical gemstones and the Greek magical papyri. Montefaucon's work in the 18th century pioneering anti-Aquarian scholars began comprehensively categorizing the drawings and the texts of these relics. For example, French scholar Bernard de Montefaucon. Oh yeah, I don't speak that much French. Not even enough to try to do that. I mean, I can pull off Levian Rose a little bit, singing off with Gaga there, but that's about it. She has a good version of Levian Rose, by the way, which is a French song, and it is absolutely beautiful. Maybe that's relevant. We do have the Lovers. Dun, 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 dun. Levian Rose. Let's see, I'll have to look up Levian Rose in a minute. Obviously, that must have to do with others. So, in the 18th century, pioneering antiquarian scholars began comprehensive categorizing the drawings and the text of these relics. For example, French scholars, I already said that, cementing their place in Western esoteric history. And they did catalog Abraxas gems. Now, it was later influenced, while the 18th century framed them as curiosities. These same texts and gems heavily inspired the modern occultist. Notably, Carl Jung in 1916. So he wrote, he named himself something. Okay, let me ask this. Hang on. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and tell you. So his writings that he wrote, yet he did not publish, that he wrote under a pseudonym. Obviously, I just now told you. So Jung quintessentially took Abraxas, broke it down in all of that. And he wrote a Christian Gnostic thing and attributed his authorship entirely to Basilides of Alexandria. Now, if you actually take, I believe it's the Latin language or some language, that actual name ends up being an actual literal pseudonym or different spelling of Carl Jung. So he did this really cool thing where he created these Gnostic texts in 1916, which would have been heresy. And he printed them and he passed them out to family and friends. And this spread amongst the populace. It doesn't change Gnosticism, but what he really added to it, to be honest, because God forbid someone intelligent of the time add to something. We can't do that. What was is what is, right? No further advancement. No more prophet. And I mean prophetic mysticism, right? No. It ended right there. We just drew the line. Cut it off. Sorry. But it was really kind of cool because this is what he was trying to make a reference to. And he compared Christ. And so he also compared the sun and the morning star. They are the same. Are they not? Take what you will. Then you've got Jesus and Lucifer. There, it's just the one side to each coin, which exists within everyone. As above, so below. As within, so without, is what I'm basically getting at. The duality of it all. You carry masculine and feminine. Now, can your dualities be imbalanced? Oh, fuck yes. That's the thing you need to understand. And you also need to understand that dark is not necessarily bad. I'll get into in a different talking of my thinking on the devil and Satan and these energies versus actual Luciferian shit. And I'm not anything like, I'm not a Satanist, don't worry. I'm just telling you some facts. I'm great for that. And the Abraxas rooster was the enlightenment. It was the symbol for enlightenment. Okay, the morning the rooster crows. Okay, you got the serpent. Okay, and we know that that's related to, right? The whole, if I have to go into that for you. And then you've got the human in between. So the symbolism of Abraxas is unity. Unified consciousness is what Carl Jung was getting at. You have to unify your dark and your light. It has to all come together. And bad things, even though they happen, can grow you if you allow it. It's your choice what you make of things. So look at the bigger picture. And before I started this reading, I was outside watching the birds. We originally thought, and because I'd asked Hannah's stepmom, because I know she would know, but and we both thought they were robin's eggs, but it turns out they were red-headed finches, which is either in Africa or we have them in the United States, which are more of a house variety. They love your American home ferns and stuff. So they nested in mine, hatched, and 2 eggs didn't hatch. So I'm going to have to remove the nest since, I mean, it's long past the time. So I'll just take gloves and place it because I don't want the plant to go. These baby birds have hatched. There's multiple ones, and they went to the other fern down, and then I've got another fern at the neighbors across the way. We've got ferns all over the place around here. We just like our ferns. And yeah, that's our trends. So I like the ferns. I'm not mad about it. Anyway, so yeah, these red-headed finches, and the red-headed finch is actually I think in symbolism regarding Christ, since we are all in that, and I've went there, Christ consciousness, however you want to look at it, but in Christian philosophy, is a symbolism actually for the bloodshed of Christ. Actually, that's how they utilize that biblically. However, it is a very spiritual like bird. Birds in general are spiritual messengers, I like to think, to the underworld or other world, either or. The realm that is not seen by you. How about that? Anyhow, let's get on with seeing why you are afraid of the business. We've got the devil energy. You need to spread out and look at the bigger picture. You've got your light team, spirit team, and you've got your red-headed finches to sit here and say, you're ascending. You're obviously sweet and compassionate. You're in your beta energy. You're worried about this shit. Obviously, yeah, there's a lover around the corner. We don't know yet if it's past energy or present, but we do know to watch out and don't get yourself in the third wheel situation, because somebody's going to present something as an illusion, but you're going to find yourself in that. If you want to be in that, that's all well and good, but if you don't want to be in that and you're being lied to because somebody tried to pull a rabbit out of the hat, not cool. Not cool. That would be definite mind games. So, bigger picture, we have our 5 of Hearts also. Now, right here, let's see where we at. When the recent passed, and then we got Lovers that was in the near future. So you want to look out for that third party coming in. Okay. Yep. And you got your 5 of Hearts. You are learning from your mistakes. You're in your potential right now. Learning. You got this. You're good. All right. So you've got your 9 of Pentacles here. The Hermit. 9 of Pentacles is your Hermit card. See? The cat in the box. All curled up cozy in its little box, right? That is... That's your near future with that. Oh, you're worried about becoming too much of a hermit by going in? I get that. Actually, I think I worry more about people perceiving it as that and not me needing my alone time or not wanting to interact with chaos and drama. I mean, I'll straight shut the door on chaos and bullshit at this point. Like, door shut. No, thank you. Don't want a part of that. We're good. Don't be selling that here. Also, a weird thing happened, and I'm not saying that... Actually, there's nothing weird about it. We're just not cautious enough as a human society, and I recommend every female to have a mace and taser in this day and age, especially with the creepy shit I just told you, right? Weirdos be knocking on your door. What the fuck is that? Oh, and I had to peacock, so I didn't get back. I told you, full circle it, baby. So you may have to show your ass at this weirdo here. Peacock a little bit. Don't do that. Call the police. Always call the police first. Well, I was running the predator off from the porch, okay? But even in the wild, don't do that to a bear or a lion, or anything that, back away slowly and get the fuck away. Anyway, but in nature, especially animals, they'll peacock to each other, and I waited till danger was far enough away. I waited till the son of a bitch was in his truck to really start. But I wanted to get loud. I wanted my neighbors, if they weren't paying attention, to know something was the fucking up. I wanted him to feel uncomfortable. And that's when I started screaming, "Don't you come around here no more." I became that old lady on the porch. I became my age real quick. Or the craziness that people want to talk. But guess what? My willingness to step up and say something when something is not okay could have saved somebody's life. So one, don't be afraid to say something. I have never, ever strayed away from, if I see abuse happening in front of my face in public, I will put a stop to it right then and there, my business or not. How dare people complain? I've been the product of abuse, and I've had own family members look the other way. So with that being said, looking the other way is completely unacceptable going forth in humanity. How dare you? Let's start there with a moral basis, right? Stop letting people get abused, because when you are complacent, you are simply as guilty as you're witnessing it and allowing that. You don't go tell nobody, you don't do nothing. Listen, I guess I'm often, I know my accent is highly thick, you guys, and in previous readings I've explained how I got there with it, between the North and the South, and then serving when I was young, and everybody asking me, well, where are you from? Are you from up north, and all that? Or are you from this and that? So I tried to really bring the Southern in, and I think I created my own dialect, so you don't understand me half the time. And people, I can be talking to the most Southern of motherfuckers around here, and I had somebody say it this past week, you're not from here, are you? At this point, I want to say, no, I'm not even from this planet. And I wouldn't claim it. Come on, give me props, right? Which I do feel that way sometimes, I'm not going to lie. So don't worry about being the hermit. Don't worry about that. Because other people are seeing you in your Page of Wands energy. That's how people are viewing you. Which kind of looks hateful. That cat looks mad. But it's standing up on its box. Proud, and your Page of Wands is enthusiastic, though. Get it off the ground. So that is, how other people are viewing you, like you're getting your shit going. You're obviously getting something off the ground. And we've seen that at the beginning with you're working on something business-wise. Ooh, I'm going to have to end this up. I'm getting hungry. I've not eaten today. We have our 3 of Diamonds, 3 of Pentacles. The cat is in the bag. 3 of Diamonds. You have craftsmanship. You have your skill set down. Maybe you're learning like me and trying to master your intuitive readings with learning absolutely everything you can about all kinds of stuff. And if you're like me, your brain just goes, and just takes it all in weird ways. Maybe somebody's forced you to level up. I know I did a couple of circles in this one. However, don't worry about whatever is going on. Look at the bigger picture when it comes to any lovers coming in. If you want love, I am all about it. Just discernment. You'll know if it's for you. You'll know. If you've got some creepy ex lurking around the corner, you got crazy stories, you'll know that's yours. If you are looking for love and you don't have any craziness in your life, maybe, since it's in future energy, you really do have a lover coming in. Maybe if you're polyamorous, maybe you got your third party. But maybe you about to be put in it because we got a sweetheart. Oh, no, my bad. The illusionist card was out behind it, so obviously that's not what you want. So this is for somebody that doesn't want this, clearly. So, they trying to pull the rabbit out the hat on your ass. Well, you got his arm around you and his hand on somebody else's ass, clearly. Other woman or man. No, which one? So, I'm going to say no. 6 of Hearts. 6 of Hearts. Is that a yes or a no to me? So I hope y'all found the Braxis thing interesting. I thought it was. I don't know. Plus, I love Carl Jung. I mean, for that matter, I like Freud too. I mean, you can tell me your sexual fetish and I'll tell you your childhood trauma. No joke. I actually was a psychology major, however, I did not finish college for reasons. And it didn't mean I stopped reading or learning. It just was not for me, that route in that way. To get to where I was going, because I needed to merge psychology with spirituality and science, and where the hell do you find that on this planet? Certainly not in the United States, on this area, or the South area. So I chose to delve into each little bit of everything I could get my hands on, is what it boiled down to. And my mother supplied a lot of resources, as you clearly see with the books and the promise I've told about reading her books. So somebody's being nostalgic. Six of Hearts, they're saying, is this is not what I asked, though. Sorry, I just want to make sure. Let's get it all going. We'll both learn. Okay, it's a gentle affirmative yes card. Because it's a red card, it is associated with love, harmony, and peace. It's a yes, but. Yes, but. See? Hang on. You just take my word for it. You can Google that. Hidden connections. Yes, but. ... This little. And I'm going to say the yes, but... ... Because they coming in that devil energy, and you got to look at the bigger picture. Don't worry about it. Don't be signing no contracts with anybody at this time, because you got that shady dealings in this right now. If I were you, I would give it a couple weeks before I'd be signing anything right now. Now, it is a good time to go inward. Now, granted, I mean, this is a demonic, nefarious, diabolical bondage. That doesn't mean that, just because what I told you about Abraxas and stuff, that devil energy is not real, and that people have not pretty much manifested that into prime existence. Plus, there's other deities that people don't understand and comprehend, and they call upon and do workings on, and then they end up having to pay the piper. And that's usually how that rolls, and unfortunately, that's really sad. It's really sad what people do to themselves. Notice he's holding the damn candle. He's the one, whoever that is. Do we not have that come out? Yes. Totally. So whoever that is, maybe pulling some magic. So the nostalgic, they're using nostalgia probably in the spell work, if they're in that. Or mental manipulation, as you clearly seen through my Carl Jung psychology, however you want to put it, or through prayer. Spell work comes in many ways. Nevertheless, yeah, it looks like they're putting some nostalgia to try to draw you in. So it sounds like an X maybe popping back up in the near future. Stay away from that. Unless it didn't do you, unless it's an X that never hurt you. But then why are you X's, right? Obviously something, I don't know. Maybe just star-crossed lovers. You need to use always discernment when it comes to your life. After all, these readings are for entertainment purposes only. And I hope you got some insight or something from one of my random roundabout stories or my little crazy life of mine that I find so funny. Like, it is enlightening, to say the least, and that's how you have to take it. I've preached on this before. Not all things are bad. Bad things are just sometimes the level up. And maybe when I prayed that prayer, maybe I did set out on the fool's journey and not the hero's journey, which I say is the same. But you gotta go, before you get to be in hierophant energy, you gotta and which is, I guess, the hero at the end of the game. You got to take the leap. You got to be the fool. You got to free fall, not knowing what's going to happen. And trust. And you need to give somebody grace. That was the whole thing. I was outside with my cat, Grace. And I pulled the cat cards. I picked up my hand lotion, and it was hand lotion I picked up because I love the smell, not because I'm endorsing it or anything. But I don't even know where it's at in here. But it was called Grace, the name of it, and I didn't even realize that until just now. So whoever's coming in and fucked up energy, or maybe since you're in the Nine of Swords a little bit, in your head, all the things you said, somebody's going over all the things you said in your head. I don't know what song that is at all. Or maybe you are. I don't know. But go do what I'm going to do. Since I found solace and able to watch a movie a while back, which I meant to mention in my last video, I did not. I'll wait, because I might rewatch it. It was a psychological thriller, and pertinent to today's what the fuck with AI and everything. God, what was the name of it? I don't know. I need to watch that one again. Obviously, I was self-soothed enough that I just don't remember every detail, but it made an impact on me enough to probably watch it again, and maybe watch something else. I don't know. I haven't caught up on Skinwalker Ranch in a minute. You know, I was going through hard times these past couple years, so when Picard came out, I feel like I was like watching it through the screen of all this chaos. Here's my life, me trying to enjoy the show, and then but the start, if you haven't seen Picard, I don't know which viewing forum that's on, Hulu, Netflix, or Prime, I really don't know. But if you got it, man, I recommend the new. Even if you haven't seen the old ones, it's pretty it's kind of cool. I think they phrase it, or they make it to where you can actually watch it without knowing the past. But if you do know the past, definitely watch that. It's if you've watched the movies and watched the shows, oh fuck yeah, they did me proud. And I was really difficult into getting into other Star Trek spin-offs. Even guilty Captain Janeway, I even had difficulty with that one. The original Kirk or Picard, man. It's what I grew up watching. My parents always had that shit on the TV, so yeah. Maybe Star Trek is relevant, and maybe on the next reading I will finally pull out that Star Trek deck and we'll see what it has to tell us. I am interested to do a reading with it. And on the bottom, I'm just going to end before I pull any more cards, but obviously, like I told you, I mean, I'm sitting here just like I do. Two-Faced is on the bottom. Don't trust the lover. Just shut the door in their face. Because probably some crazy stalking son of a bitch like that girl. Pull out that. If you have to peacock and call the police, do so. Speaking of which, thank God the neighbor across the street did, because I was busy on the phone with management. Then I see the cops, and you see me go, no. Oh, no. I don't know why you called, but I need you. Hey. I didn't know. Obviously, I was loud enough that the neighbor across the street down below did call, because they was witnessing this weirdo knocking on the doors. Thank God I'm not the only one that said, no, hell no. Oh, man. Somebody feels stagnant, stuck, and dead end, which we pulled that. No, you're not. You haven't seen that. That's how they want to feel. Distance, divorce, ghosted, separation. Ghosting is a gift. Don't you think that it's not for 10 fucking seconds? That is removal of what does not belong there, because what is meant for you, no matter what people do and think they're blocking, they're not. I've got some cards to pick up. I gotta play. I don't know how many pickup cards. Y'all ever play that? What was the pickup stick game? I don't know. I'm old. Look at the bigger picture. Feel your feelings. I'm not sitting here ever saying don't be mad, happy, sad, whatever the feelings are. You're going through grief, but don't let it affect your business. Shut the fucking door in people's faces if you need to. And before y'all out there hoobly jubbly in it, spell working it, in the words of my papa, you better know who you're calling on first. Or no, you better call on somebody you know. Even better. Yeah, it comes out better when you're in the southern moment. You better call on somebody you know. There you go. See, you better call on somebody you know. So before you go in and plan on calling on deities and devils and whatever the fuck you want to think you're calling on, call on somebody you know first. That was a running joke, though, by the way, when he would say that, because you would say, Jesus, he'd say, call on somebody you know. You catch the joke. It was a joke. Anyway, don't take everything so serious in life. Rumpelstiltskin that shit. Transmute it into gold, baby. Level yourself up. Whatever that looks like. And it's not always pretty, by the way. As we see by my Joyce Meyer prayer / whatever you want to call it. Because words matter. Or at least the intention behind your words is what really matters, because there's where your energy lies. All right, I hope somebody found something. I'm going to end this. This is getting too long, and I'm rambling at this point. So join me again. I love you. Thank you. Hit the like button and subscribe. You can always skip through the ranting parts if you need to. All right, love you.